Okay, welcome back. We're going to be doing a Taanis stuff off over here. And should be pointed out that I was told to keep these recordings by the guys under 30 minutes. Original are on rabbivan.com and in the Gemara section. Here we go. I'm going to start from the fourth line. Tana Rabbanan, Tana Rabbanan. The rabbis taught Yoire. What does that mean? The rain. Shemoire es abriois. Latia kagosem v'lahachnes es briosem v'lasos kol tzrichehen. This instructs people to tar their roofs and to enter all of their food and to do all of their needs. Davar acher, this is also teaching us something else. Shemerov esaaretz, it's going to irrigate the land, umashka, and it's going to water. Oiso, there's a text change at the home. It's going to water it until the depth. Shemar, the pasuk says, Talmeha, it's ridges. Rava naches, which means that it's going to have a lot of water and it's going to settle. Looking at the pasuk at the side, Gidu deha, that means that it's furrows. Berevivim, with the showers. Timogigena, that means that it's going to be softened. Some simcha tivarech, and its growth will be blessed. Tavarach, it's coming to teach us something else. Yoire sheyored benachas is going to come down gently. Ve'ino yored bezaf, it's not going to come down in a force. Ve'ino yoire elo shemash ir esaperos. Maybe yoire means that it's going to cause the fruit to fall off. Umashtif esazraim, and the seeds, the plants, to wash away. Umashtif esailanos, and it's going to cause now to wash away all of the trees over here. Tamalamar, that's what the pasuk comes to say. Malkush, not Malkush lebracha, if you're lebracha. Just like Malkush refers to rain that is a blessing, so too Yora. Oeno Malkush Elishemafil Sabat. Maybe a Malkush type of rain will cause the houses to go down. Umashaber Silonos, and it will break the trees. Umala Esasikin, and it will bring up the locust, which is bad. Tamalam relax to the pasuk says Yorah. Ma Yorah lebracha, Malkush lebracha. Just like Yorah is a blessing, so then so too the Malkush is a blessing. If you go from Minalan, how do you know that Yorah itself is good? The pasuk says B'nai Tzion Gilu. People of Zion are going to rejoice with Samchu, and they're going to be happy by Hashem. Lokechem with Hashem their God. Kinas and Lachem es Amora l'stok of Yorah Lachem Geshem or Malkush Berishon. That it was given to them. The Morah is a charity, and it's going to come down the rain, the Morah and the Malkush first. Ton Rabban on. The Brisa says Yor ben Marchesh and Malkush ben Nisan. Yor is going to be on Marchesh and Malkush is going to be on Nisan. Ata Yor ben Marchesh and Malkush ben Nisan. Oino Ela Yor beTishrei Malkush Bior. Are you saying that Yor is on Marcheshvan and Malkush is on Nisan, or maybe Yor is really in Tishrei and Malkush is in Yatamalam or Beito? That's what it comes to say in its time, that it's in the proper time. Yor is going to be in Marcheshvan, as Rashi explained, and Malkush is going to be in Nisan. That is the right time. That's good for everyone. There's a text change. Malkush. What's Malkush? Amar of Nehila bar Ida Amar Shmuel. From Nehila, the son of Ida, said in the name of Shmuel, Dover, Shemal, Kishiosein, Shel Yisrael. It's something that breaks the hardness of the Jews. The Beit Rabbi Yishmael Tana, Dover, Shemamale, Tivuz, Bekasheha. It's something that fills the produce in its ears. But Masnis and Tana, the Bryce was taught Dover, Shiorid al Hamalilos Val Hakikashin. It's something that comes down on the malilos on the top of the stalks and on the straw. Tana Rabbana b'marcheshvan, Yoyer b'marcheshvan, the Malkush b'nisan, Yoyer in marcheshvan, the Malkush is a nisan. Atoim or Yoyer b'marcheshvan, Elul b'chodesh Kislev. Are you saying that Yoyer is in marcheshvan, or maybe it's during the month of Kislev? Tam Lomer, that's what the pasuk is. B'ito Yoyer Malkush, and it's time. Al Malkush b'ito after Malkush, after b'ito. Just like Malkush is in its time, so to Yoyer is in its proper time. Tani, another brayse says. Yoire b'marchesh and Malkush Nisan Tivre b'merucham or Yoire b'Kislev. Yoire comes on Marchesh and Malkush comes on Nisan. That's according to Rabbi Meir. According to the Chamim, Yoire is in Kislev. My Chachamim, who is this Chachamim over here? Amar B'chitz is Rabbi Yosi. B'chitz says Rabbi Yosi. The Tanya is he review Rishayna. What's considered the first rain period? Habachira, the earliest time. B'shlosh Marchesh. When is on the third of Marchesh? B'non is Rishiva Bo. In between is going to be on the 7th. If you on the last rain time is going to be Shavar Sabah on the 17th. The Rabbi Meir, that's according to Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, B'Shiva, B'Yudzayin, B'Esrim, B'Shalashim. It's going to be on the 7th, the 17th, and the 23rd. Rabbi Yossi Omer, B'Yudzayin, B'Esrim, B'Shalashim, B'Rosh Chodesh Kislev. It's going to be on the 17th, the 23rd, and on Rosh Chodesh Kislev. V'chinu Rabbi Yossi Omer, Ini Yachid Mesani, actually give Rosh Chodesh Kislev, that the pious people are going to fast until it reaches The Rosh Chodesh, the first of the month of Kislev. Amar Rav Chizda, halacha like Rabbi Yossi. Rav Chizda says halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. Meimar masin lahad. Rav Chizda b'hai lishna. Meimar taught that which Rav Chizda said in this language. B'shol shebim marcheshvan shalis gesham. On the third of marcheshvan, you ask for rain. Rabbi Gamliel loim Rabbi Shiva, but Rabbi Gamliel says on the seventh. Amar Rav Chizda halacha like Rabbi Gamliel. The halacha Rav Chizda says halacha is in accordance to with Rabbi Gamliel. Manas lahad detanya. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Aimer. Who does it go like? The following price. Rishon ben Gamliel says, Gishamim shor du shiva yamim. Secher se atamoyne behen reviewed Rishon v'shniya v'shlishus kaman. K'Rebbe Yosi. So Rabbi Shimon the son of Gamliel says that the rain that descends on the seventh, Shiva Yamim Zecher, the 7 days this after another, one after another, and you count from the first rain period and the second and the third. Who's that going like? It's going like Rabbi Yosi. Amar Rav Chizda halacha like Rabbi Yosi. Rav Chizda says the halacha is like Rabbi Yosi. What does it mean that it goes 7 days one after another? Rashi explains. It rains right now, and then it stops until the seventh, and then V'yardu Zayin Yamim, it goes down Zechar at one for another for 7 days. It goes down. So you count from the first, the second, the third. Bishleim Rav Rishon says the Gemara Lishol Shlishis Lisanos. I understand on the first period that's for saying Saint Talmud Levracha. The third one is for the fasting. Shnia Lamai. What's the second one for? This is going to be subject to a lot of different opinions. Amar of Zera Linadar. Zera said it's for vows. If you take a look at the Gillian Harsha over here, Rabbi Akiva Eiger says, why does the Gemara say for Schiras Batim? And if you look at the Rasha, she answers this question, Ayin Sham. Rabbi Zero, that this is referring to what? For vows. The Tanan, because the Mishnah says, it's pretty cool comment, 6 minutes. Hanoidir, 7 minutes. Hanoidir, Lagishamim, if you're going to make a vow against the rain. You're gonna say, I'm making a vow, Rashi explains, if I'm gonna get any pleasure from it until it rains. Achiyu, there's a girsa change, Geshamim, Achatir Revishniya, so it's until the second rainy period. According to the Gemara Nadarim says next Rashi explains we go after the vernacular of people, how people talk, and they don't call rain until it comes down the second rain period over there because it starts messing everything up on the ways of the drachim, the paths that people take, and it starts getting bad. So anyways, that's one explanation. So then the Gemara says, Rizvid Omar, another answer, the Zaysim, it's for olives. What's it talking about? The Tanan, because the Mishnah says in Meseches Peyo, Meimasai Kolodum, Mutar Meleka Shechel Peyo, when is everyone going to be permissible to collect Leket Shechel and Peyo? What is Leket? Mishnah Meseches Peyo says, Ezeo Leket Anoisha B'Shas Ksir. Leket is the stalks that fall when you are harvesting. If it's going to be a few, you have to leave it there. Shikha, you have to leave some there. Pay, you have to leave the corner of your fields. So when are other people, as Rashi explains, even wealthy people, not just poor people are allowed to collect the lekha, shikha, and pay, as we just learned from Megillus Rus, that we just learned on Shvuah. So when are wealthy people allowed to get it? Misha Yelchu Hanimoshos, from when the Nimoshos, that they stop going in the fields. The Gemara is going to ask, what is Nimoshos? We'll see in a moment. But parrot, what is parrot? Parrot is the same thing of leket, just when it comes to grapes. Is that who parrot the Mishnah says in the Seches Peah Hanoisher B'Shas B'Tzira? That's when you're harvesting the grapes. If it falls down, you have to leave it there. Oilos, the Gemara says, deformed clusters. Mishelcho Anim B'Kerem V'Yavo. Once the poor people leave the vineyard and they start going. B'Zeisim, when it comes to Al Mishatir Rav Yishni, once the second rain period stops. My Nimoshos says the Gemara, what is these Nimoshos? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Sabi Dazli Atiga. These are older people who are going in their cane. We'll explain what that means in a moment. Rishal Kashamar Lakuti Bar Lakuti. It's the poor people after the poor people, aka after their children. And we'll see what that means in a minute. Rav Papa Amar Kedila Halach. Okay, fine. So, now Rav Papa Amar Kedila Halach B'Shvili Rishos. It's to go on a path. A path. We'll see about that in a minute. You could go on a path until the second rain period. Let's catch one Rashi's. Is Rashi says besod in the mikam that means when the old people they stop going in the field. So that's how you know, because the older people are going to be the less poor people over there. Once they start going, so then you could already go. Other people could collect. Okay, you came a second time. Once the poor people leave the vineyard and they go, so you already came back another time. So now Masichi Daisayoni, and they already had a diversion from the mine. What does this mean? The second rain period. Until that time, everyone is gathering. Tells the Atigar Rashi says that they're going very slowly. Holchem Menachos and Maimitfei, they're looking. Lakuti Bati Basar Lakuki Rashi says Ani Moilech Ben or of a poor person who's bringing his son after him. But Papa has another answer that that it's basically that they have permission from Beis Din for travelers that they could cut through their fields and use it as a shortcut. So Papa says Kedei lahalech b'shvili harishos, to go in those shortcuts over there until the second rain period. That could be done. Says the Gemara in the continuation. Rav Nachman bar Yisroch Amar levar perush shvius. It's talking about getting rid of the fruit from the Shemitah year, the Shvius year, to Tanam, because it says in the Mishnah, Mesechus Shvius. Until when are you allowed to get pleasure and burn the straw that was used during the Shemitah year? He's talking about, so Rashi explains, if you have growth during the Shemitah year, so it's prohibited until after. So when you allowed to Achatei Rav until the second rain, same idea. My time was the reason the pasuk says L'bim techel l'chaya sheber etzecha, for your animals that are in your fields. Kol zman shechaya ochels b'soda echel b'im techel l'bayis. Whenever your animals are eating in the field, so then you could feed your animals in the house. However, kala l'chaya min asoda kala b'im techel min habayis. Once they finished eating, so then the animals they also finished in the house. Amar Rabbi Avohu, my lashon revia. What does revia mean? Davar she roive es a karka. It's something that penetrates the ground. So the Gemara says, "Kedar of Yehuda Damer of Yehuda Mitra Baila Da'arahu." Rain is considered like the husband or the owner of the ground. Shenemar, as the pasuk says. Ki kasher yerid ageshem ve'ashalag. We see this in the Haftarah and Fesses. Ki kasher yerid ageshem ve'ashalag min hashamayim v'shama lo yeshuv ki min rava es aretz v'holidav itzmicha. Okay, so we know from that passage. Review Rishoina, Kedei Sheteired or Shetikanis Bekarga Tefach. The first rain period is that it's going to enter into the ground a distance of around 3 inches. Shnia, the second one, Kedei Lachol Pias Chavetz, in order to seal a barrel, as Rashi explains, the water starts dripping until it starts getting like moist over there. That now it could help with the sealing process without adding any water. Apparently, you need water to seal it. Rav Chizkiah said if you have rain that is going down, descending in order to seal the barrel, that's not a problem of tsar, which means that the rain is considered stopped. And as Rashi explained, that's not a kol, it's not the curse of the rain being stopped. Rav Chizkiah says if you have rain that comes down before the atzar, which means before the time of Shema, as Rashi explains, that's not considered also like a curse of Tsar that it stopped. I'm Rabbi Alon Ran Elakodim Vatsar Dorsa. There's only talking about before the Vatsar, before when it gets stopped at night. However, before the one in the morning, that already would be a problem of the curse and not having rain. Damar Damar Rav Yehuda Bar Yitzchak, because Rav Yehuda said the name of Rav Yitzchak, Chani no need to suffer, Leisbuhu Mashasha. These morning clouds, they have no substance. Ichsiv, the pasuk says, Ma'aselacha Ephraim, what am I going to do for your Ephraim? Ma'aselacha Yehuda, what am I going to do for Yehuda v'chasidechem kanam bakar? Your piousness is like the clouds. Amar le Rav Papa Labai, Rav Papa told Labai, Vaho, Amri Inshi, that when people say, B'miftach Babi, when you open your door and you see Mitra, Bar Chamra, when you see rain, this on the donkey driver, Moch Sakecha Vegani, fill your sacks and go to sleep. Rashi explains if you have Mitra b'mavtecha baby in your demibakar kishapoiskim pesachim yekafal chamer, if you have it go, the rain's coming in the morning when you're going to open your doors, so then just, it's bring the donkey back over there to go to sleep, because the year's going to get blessed and there's going to be a tremendous amount of abundance, so it's not going to help that you're going to try to sell your produce because there's going to be so much abundance. So we see it's a good thing. That's the Gemara's question over here, so it's a good thing. Lokasha, ho, the kotel be evil, ho, the kotir, excuse me, banani. It depends if it's kotir be evil. It depends if the rain is coming in a thick cloud or if it's going to be coming in that one. If it's a thick one, Rashi says the kotir be anayim nikshu shamayim banani mavim. If you have thick clouds over there, local ushim, and not thin ones, mishum va'atzar. So that's not going to be a bad thing. However, if it's kotir banani, shikalusha ma'avim bo mamish. If it's gonna have like a very thin cloud that has no substance, and that would be an issue. Amr of Yehuda, Tova l'shais is a Tevis Amr also that if you have the good to the year of Tevis is when it's a widowed year. What does that mean? Rashi explains that Shira Klemer Tovi Yeshel Shana the Tevis Amr also Shin Gishamim Yoidimba the Harvilas arts. If you have no rain, so then that's already a good thing over there. Specifically in the month of Tavis, that's going to be a good thing. So the Gemara then says, "Ika damri." Some say, "Deloy bayri tar bitzi." This is talking about when then there's no tar that's diminished. Vika damri delo shakil shudfana when there's no wind blast. What's the saying? So some say, "Oisim akomish v'yisrael," and Torah Rashi explains places where they teach a lot of Torah. So it's so einam boyders v'neisha drachim yafin hein, and it's not going to empty out because the paths are going to be good, and people the students they're going to travel from one place to another. V'holchin tamim makom makom l'matar. So that's already a good thing. However, some say that there's not going to be a wind blast. Okay, so it's a good thing. Aini is that so. Vamar Rav Chizda. Rav Chizda says Tavla Shais is a Tavas Minavusa. It's good when it's already disgusting. When it's muddy. Rashi explains Shadrachim Minulvam Betit Bnei Geshamim. That's when it's going to be good. Lo Kasha Hadasa Mitra Mikar Hadaloi. Also Mitra Mikar. Depends if there was rain before and or not. If there wasn't rain before and so then already that's going to be good. Rashi explains. Shiyardu Hadas Mitra Mikar Shiyardu Geshamim Bizmanan that the rain came down in their time in Mar Cheshvan v'yardaf b'Tevis, and it went down even in Tevis. So then that's going to be bad because there's already enough rain. However, if there wasn't original rain beforehand, the loss of Mitra Mikaro Tavel Shaisa the Tevis Mulvad. So then already that's going to be a good thing. V'amar Al Chiz Geshamim Shiardu Amexas Medina Amexas Medina Lo Yardinu Mishum Be'atzar. If you have rain that came down on a partial on part of the country came down, part of it didn't come down. That's not a problem of being cursed. There's no problem over there because the part of the country that the rain went down, Rashi explains they're going to sell to the rest of the country and then it'll be good. Aini, is that so? That I'm going to refrain from you the rain in 3 months, the ksir during the harvest, and I will cause the rain. To your 1 year, one city I'm going to bring rain, when I won't. Chalka, lo amtir chalka achas timot. There's Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, and Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav Shtein L'klala. Both locations are actually a curse, so it's going to be a bad thing. My answer is lo kasha hada asi tuvia hada also kidim violate. Depends if there's a lot. If there's a lot, then it's not going to be good. But if it's the proper amount, then already that will be good. As Rashi explains, if it's hada ika mitra tuva yoisim idai Shtein L'klala, so it will both be a curse if it's too much, but if it's the proper amount, then certainly that will not be a curse. Says the Gemara in the continuation. Amar Ravasi, Daikanami, you could make a diuk, you could be precise from this, make an inference. If the pasuk says Timatu Tiamoko Matam Shvami, that's gonna be a place of rain you can infer from here. Amar Rabbi Avom, Ema Samavar Shalom. From when do we make a bracha, a blessing on rain? Mishiyatsu Chasim Lakras Kala, when the groom comes to greet the bride. As Rashi explains over here in the first explanation, that a lot of rain comes, that when one drop falls on another one, it will cause already to like bounce up or a protrusion of some sort. My Mevarach, what's the blessing that you would recite? Amar Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav Modim Menachem Lucha that we thank you, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem our God, Al Kol Tipa V'Tipa Shavada Talanu, on every single drop that you cause to descend. Rabbi Yochanan Messiah Bahachi. Rabbi Yochanan would conclude as follows: Ilu Pilama Lishira Kayam Lishanina Ria Kamon Golov Ad Kela Zvena Rachamecha Hashem Elokeinu V'Ozavuna Berov Rov Haodos. That if you would fill it up like the whole sea and all of our songs and everything. Hashem, you bring mercy, you don't leave us, and you have a lot of abundance. Rov hados, v'lo just a lot, but not all abundance. Amarav v'imok kelodos, just say yes, the abundance. Amar Papa Hilkoch, Papa says therefore, Nemiran Litravai, you should say both them. You should say kelodos v'rov hados, kelodos and rov ahodos. Okay, this was a very quick daf. The next one is going to be jam-packed, and it might need to be a little bit longer. Okay, see you in the next one.